Hello, and welcome to episode 582 of Prog Review. And today we're covering, imagine, Nektar's second album. Yes, Nektar. Their second album, A Tab in the Ocean. Released November 1972. There you go. I was joking around that I would run out of progressive rock records to cover, like you do on the Twitters, and somebody on the Facebook suggested Nektar. I thought, oh, what the hell? We can do this. Now, you know, with the progressive rock, you have your top tier bands, your King Crimsons, your Genesis, your Yes. Then you have your second division, you know, your Van Graaf Generators, your Curved Air, so on. And then there's like a tier below that, like your third division of the ones that no one really cares about, and the bands that it's like they're just there for people to say, oh, have you heard of such and such, where they wear it like a badge that they've known, some obscure band that nobody else has heard of, and this is where Nektar falls into. I put them there with was it the Enid and the Eloy and bands like that. They were formed in Hamburg, though I think their membership are British, I believe, and the bass there. And this is their second album. The first album, Journey to the Centre of the Eye, which is in 1971, was a concept album about space. It's a bit spacey, and astronauts and stuff and whatnot. But I thought, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go for the second one, A Tab in the Ocean, because smart, because it's only 35 minutes 39 seconds long. I can listen to that whilst walking the dog. Clever. And luckily it's featured as a free listen on my Amazon Prime membership. Don't forget to clink the link. Clink. That's where you click the link. Clink. Don't forget to click the link in the comment in the description box, so you can buy lovely products off Amazon. I get the micro pennies. But yeah, I can listen to it for free whilst I'm walking the dog, and that's what I did. And see, the problem I have with bands like this, and what distances them from bands such as Genesis and Yes and King Crimson, is that they approach progressive music from one aspect. There aren't any other influences, there aren't any other cultural or literal influences that they pull in to give their music any great depth. This is a band that I almost, I know the jury's out whether or not Pink Floyd are prog or not. We say they are because they did Echoes, and that's kind of proggy. But Pink Floyd, again, they kind of came out of blues rock and space rock, that kind of era, and that's where this band comes from. It's kind of they're stuck in the blues, man. They're very much stuck in the rock milieu, but what they do is they just extend and extend and extend and extend and extend. They stretch these songs out, but all the riffs and all the sounds that you hear are, taken from rock and from the blues, and so you get it's all right. It's all right. It's like if Status Quo made a prog album. It's like that. There's nothing in it that marks it out. It's just fairly standard ploddy stuff. It's just all right. It's all right. but I wouldn't listen to it. I wouldn't choose to listen to it. It didn't have any emotional impact on me. I didn't think, oh, this is a great album, this is a great band. Quite contrary, I thought this was a band that, that were trying to, they were punching above their weight. They didn't have the chops or the musical ability to make music, take it to another dimension, take it to somewhere different. And like I said, it was pretty much stuck in the same groove. First side, Tab in the Ocean, is one extended piece. It's 16 minutes 43 seconds long. That's it. It just chugs along. It chugs along. In places, it reminds me of bands like Focus. There's some of that chuggery. How they used to chug along. But I don't know. And when you get to the second side, all the tracks kind of run into each other. So it's, I don't know if it's meant to, again, I don't have the original copy here, so I don't know what the sleeve notes say. Though looking at the sleeve notes on Wikipedia, Mike Brockett was responsible for Liquid Lights. That says it all, really, doesn't it? He's the Pete Sinfield of the group. And there are bits of it on the B-side where you can almost hear them. Some of the riffing, some of the chugging along. You're thinking, wait a minute, they're almost doing heavy metal there. They're almost doing the heavy metal, that stuff that Iron Maiden and bands of that ilk did in the late 70s, early 80s. But cranked up a bit. Funnily enough, Iron Maiden did cover one of their songs, King of Twilight, and I only know that because of the Wikipedia page. But you can see the whys and hows of that if you listen to that song, because it's almost like they are a proto metal band, but they're not. A bit softer. They haven't, like I said, they haven't quite gone to that high gain guitar sound. But yeah, I mean, it's all right. I mean, I don't know. It just felt like extended rock rather than progressive rock to me. Yeah. A little bit of spaciness in, a little bit of space rock in there. Would I recommend it? No. Would I recommend it? No. By means, go and have a listen. It's not a bad record. It's a bit of meh. It's a bit in between. It's a bit in between. And again, what makes good prog is hearing those classical music influences, hearing the jazz, the literary again, these teeth, I tell you, they're right nuisance. The literary knowledge of the band when it comes to the lyrics and the imagery drawn there. I mean, the lyrics in this are just, well, they're nondescript, to say the least. But I can imagine some people, enjoying it. Again, if you like the Floyd when they're doing their epic space rock noodly type stuff, you'd probably get this. You'd probably get it. If you like that kind of prog that you don't need to use your brain, you're gonna love it. You'll eat it up. But for me, this is why I have an issue with some of those third division prog bands, is they don't do anything. There's nothing original or interesting there for me to latch onto. There's nothing clever in this. It's pretty standard. It's it's some guys saying, do you think we can get this to 17 minutes? Oh, I'm cheeky, aren't I? I'm cheeky for saying that. So, in terms of rating, I'm going to give this 2 waves out of 5. That's 2 waves out of 5. It's not a bad album per se, but I wouldn't call it prog. I'd call it, a rock album from a band that had aspirations to go a bit proggy. You know, I think a lot of bands had that back in the day. You know, it's like, hey, those guys are doing 20-minute epics. Let's see if we can follow the trend. You know, and I think again, some of you will enjoy it, and some of you will just be nonplussed by it. I'm in that latter category. I'm like, is that it? And that's what you find with a lot of these, like I say, third division prog bands. So yeah, that's it. We did Nektar. We did Nektar. Someone challenged me, and I rose to the bait, and we've now covered a Nektar album. That's brilliant stuff. So anyway, thank you for bearing this video. It was a bit of a slog, wasn't it? Oh, it was a bit like this record, a bit of a slog, but thankfully it was only 35 minutes long. So I've been talking about, you're going to have to imagine it, A Tab in the Ocean by Nektar, originally released in November 1972. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to this channel. Don't know why. There's a social media and the Patreon. Oh, Patreon's brilliant. Do sign up for the Patreon. Really could do with that. And that's it. There's only one more thing left to say, and by now you should all know what that is. It is Prog on.